Yep, that's crap is still on here. Anyway, welcome to another edition of the JJSports podcast this week. Joining you today, I'm your co-host, Joey.
And I'm Josh.
And let's get into our first thing today. I won't do it. But I was just gonna say it's basketball. It's pretty crazy. I mean, well, Josh, do you want to just go by the bracket, I'm guessing, or?
Of course.
All right, then we're going by the bracket as always. So it's been a crazy few games here. I mean, absolutely insane. Let me share my screen, and here you go. So I think so we have here are our Elite Eight. Here's the 8 teams left in the thing. I'm gonna start with I'm not going in order. I'm gonna go with the one that shocked me the most. That Phoenix swept Denver. I was gonna wear the jersey, but Josh is like being a bitch. Like, don't wear a jersey. I'm like, whatever. But this is a Nuggets jersey. Just like feel bad for them, you know. But yeah, like, what do you think about that, Josh? The MVP losing to the future Hall of Famer Chris Paul. What does that say? Like, not even getting one win. He got ejected. I don't know if you watched that game. He gets ejected in Game 4. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that the Nuggets stuck around in the fourth quarter as long as they did without Jokic. The last like 3 minutes is kind of where it all went downhill. Keep in mind, no Jokic, no Murray. Monte Morris was sidelined for a good amount of the second half with an ankle injury. Came back in the last 5 minutes or so. But you're looking at an uphill battle against Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, Cameron Johnson, Cameron Payne, Dario Saric, however it's pronounced, because it's weird. And the bottom line is, and Jay Crowder, obviously, who was massive in that Game 4. He had 5 blocks, 3 of the 5 coming in the fourth quarter, notably within the second half of the fourth quarter when he went to town on guys like Michael Porter Jr. and Facundo Campazzo. With that being said, I predicted Phoenix to win. I did not expect this, though. I mean, they blew Denver right out of the water. And the turning point, Joey, I don't know if you remember watching the first game or two, but I mean, the turning point was really in the third quarter. It kind of stuck from there that, they'd play a very, very evenly matched first half, be a 1 or 2 point game. And the Nuggets were even leading at one point going, I think in the first 2 games, late in that area. And then third quarter comes in, Chris Paul does what Chris Paul does, and he just absolutely takes over a game and closes it out, gets going in the second half the way they needed him to. That's why they brought him in. The Suns, they were in the bubble last year. They had a decent run, and they didn't really go super far, but, they got their experience for some of their younger players like Devin Booker, like DeAndre Ayton, like Mikal Bridges, like Cam Johnson. Johnson might be a rookie this year, actually. But either way, and then, they went out, they got Chris Paul, over the offseason, and they went out, they got Jay Crowder, a guy who had been to the NBA Finals the previous year. Those 2 guys brought in a lot of experience, and they've really helped teach this young Suns team, as the 3 players I mentioned before, like Bridges, like Booker, like Ayton, what it takes to win at this high level. And now that they're feeding off of it, they're a dangerous team, and they could be going to the NBA Finals.
I think whoever's winning we'll get to that in a second, but I think the team I think they'll play, I think one of those 2 will win the whole thing. I really do, but I'll get into that later. But Josh, have you ever watched any of those videos on YouTube of like timelines of teams? Like how when but you know what I'm talking about? Like, so I just saw one yesterday, and it was the Suns. And it was like really sad because every year you look at the draft and it's like the saddest thing I've ever seen. Here are some of the Suns' first round picks the last 5 years. Obviously you have Devin Booker, but outside of him, you have TJ Warren, Alex Len, Josh Jackson, and Dragon Bender. And
who the heck are 4 of those guys?
Exactly, bro. It's just they're very fortunate that DeAndre Ayton. Well, they're fortunate they won the lottery, DeAndre Ayton, because everyone knew he was going to be a good player because he's the first overall pick. They got fortunate with the Bridges trade, and the fact that they signed Jay Crowder and they traded for Chris Paul. So whatever, they messed up years of drafting, but it doesn't matter because they just got players that were good enough or players.
They're in a spot. They're making serious noise in the playoffs so far.
It's Chris Paul might win his first ring, and I'm down. I'm down for that. So
Yeah.
I guess I'll start on the West on the other side. Other side, Utah Clippers. This is crazy. Utah's up 2-0. Donovan Mitchell's a beast. He scores like 40 something, 44, 45 points and just dominates. And now he's still playing, but he's playing hurt. So keep that in mind. But it's weird. There's like this joke all over the internet that once like Kawhi's like a different person when he's down 2-0. Then he starts like carrying, he like turns into a machine. I don't know. Like, so now it's tied again. So what? Any thoughts on what the series is like?
Yeah, no, I mean, I did say this was going to go at least 6 games.
Well, yeah, you're right. You're right now. So yeah.
Right now, like that prediction is going to be right. The question is who's actually going to win. And I did take Utah to win the series. At least last time when we did our updated, I picked LA to make it to the finals. The Clippers, not the Lakers. And with that being said, I mean, it's like, first of all, I picked LA to win the whole thing. Pretty sure that was the case. Second of all, though, I like this is interesting. Now that Mitchell's out, Los Angeles has momentum. We saw this in the first round, except the roles were reversed when they were losing on home court and they were winning on the road. Now it's the exact opposite, losing on the road and winning at home. Now the question is, with Mitchell not back to full strength, is Utah going to take Game 5? I don't know. And with that, I'm going to have to say I think the Clippers are going to be the ones winning this series in 6 for our updated version of this. Again, like I say, I don't change my overall prediction. Like just because I got something wrong, now I have to I don't want to be wrong. So now I'm going to say what I think is going to happen. Like, no, like I watched throughout and for this, it's an updated. Like that bracket I made earlier is not changing. But either way, look, I'd like to see Utah go farther. I just don't know if it's going to happen, especially with Mitchell. Now, look, if they win this game, by the way, I'll be happy for them. Like I'm rooting for them.
What's your prediction, Josh?
I say Clippers take it in 6. I think if they win tonight,
really? Okay.
They win tonight. Look, they won 3 straight games on their home court going back to the last round when they finally won. The only game that any team won on their home court was Game 7, and it went to the Clippers. So you have that plus the 2 wins in this round now against Utah. That's 3 straight home. If they could win on the road, I think that they've got momentum at home and in general because they'll have won 3 straight in general. And then, let the rest take care of itself. Just play your game on home court. And worst comes to worst, you have to go on the road for Game 7. Who knows? Anything can happen.
I don't know, man. You should when you're in 2 rounds, when you're already 2 rounds in, like you should have over a 500 record at home. I feel like, they're 3-3. They're basically 500, right? So I don't know. That's weird.
Well, look, they've been putting it together though. It's not like, they started.
Yeah, but listen, playoff.
Come back strong from it.
Paul George is not playoff P anymore, so I'll give him that. He's playing well. Leonard.
Well, Game 4 he was.
Yeah. So the point was, pandemic P. That's what I meant. Anyway, what was I gonna say? I said with Utah, it just makes one factor in play. If Donovan Mitchell is playing, like if he's playing, it doesn't like healthy. I don't think really matters because it depends what you mean by healthy. But if he's able to play, I would still give it to Utah. So I'm going Utah in 6. I probably said that last time, but I'm gonna stick with that. I think, and that's what I'll say about that. Okay, on the Eastern side, we got the Sixers, number 1 seed, Doc Rivers, first year there, and they're playing the 5-seeded Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young, and it's tied. Now, keep in mind. Sorry, one more thing I want to say. Just keep in mind, no disrespect to Trae Young, Embiid's playing on one leg. Just want to point that out. He's playing hurt. He's still playing, but he's playing hurt. Just want to point that out. What were you saying?
Yeah, no disrespect to Trae Young at the same time. He's been nowhere near as consistent this round as he was in the Knicks series. Even the game the Knicks won in that series, Trae Young was still pretty good. In this series, other than Game 1 and now Game 4, which was a huge win for them, not having to go back to Philly down 3-1, needing to win 3 straight to win the series. Now, if they could steal Game 5 on the road after a tight win at home, where they were down 18 points, by the way, early, and I mean really early. I'm talking like early set, like mid to late second quarter to very early third. granted they had time to come back, but it's a choke for Philly and it's amazing for Atlanta. But I just want to say that if they could steal a game on the road here, this game, obviously, then if you're Philly, you better watch out because they've got momentum at home now. They've only lost one game at home in the playoffs. They're 3-1 in 4 games. And granted, I know that game came this series. Nate McMillan, as we've talked about in previous episodes, has this team really well put together. He's turned them all into two-way defensive players who make you work for every opportunity defensively. They were already a gifted offensive team before. Trae Young, Bogdanovich, Gallinari, Capella, who's been massive getting offensive boards, John Collins. They don't have DeAndre Hunter at the moment. He's out with an injury. And they also have guys like Kevin Huerter, and the trade for Lou Williams has paid massive dividends for them. They're really gifted offensively.
And Cam Reddish isn't even playing. So, yeah.
A good defensive team will make you work. I mean, look, Joel Embiid is really the only main source of offense this team is getting right now. Tobias Harris is every here and there, but he's not the way he was during the regular season. You can clearly tell. And something that I'm really enjoying this Hawks team, that I'm seeing now, that they're not playing the Knicks, is the fact that, during the Knicks games, in game number 4, when Nate McMillan was interviewed during the game asking, what are you guys doing to this Knicks team? They were a top 3 defensive team in the league. How are you guys, able to break them down? He's like, you got to make them. He's like, they take away your first and your second opportunities. So you got to make them get to their third and fourth, attempt that they've got to stop. Your third and fourth option that you have to stop. And they absolutely cooked the Knicks on that. Now they're doing it to Philly, and I'm liking it a lot more because – first of all, it's really exciting to watch this team just let the 3-ball fly as effective as they shoot it. But second of all, Philly doesn't deserve it. They're a team made of money right now. They
tanked for years to get people like
Simmons, Harris on that contract. Now Curry, who's started to break out into one of the better point guards, much better point guards in the league, not just better. And whatever. But the bottom line being that, look, they're still a good team. I'm not going to argue. And they got Doc Rivers, with all lost in that. I'm going to say I predicted at the beginning of this series because I had to redo this prediction on the show because I predicted the Knicks playing the 76ers in the second round. Originally, at the start of this series, before a game had been played, I said the Hawks were hot. They won in 6. I'm sticking with that right now,
Yeah, I disagreed. I think I said Philly in 5 because I just thought Philly was just a different animal. But Embiid's playing hurt and Trae Young's playing really well. So I'm going to make a really bold prediction just because, I don't know, I'm feeling it. Fuck it. So I'm going to say the Hawks win in 7. I think they're going to win just because it seems like the Sixers are not playing to their full potential. They're kind of playing how the Clippers played last round, and this is the second round, so you can't play like that once you get in the second round because then you lose, So they're gonna beat them maybe. I guess I don't know. It could change, but I don't know. Embiid's hurt, and 7 Hawks in 7. I don't like to say it, but Trae Young's a man on a mission.
Yep.
And then finally,
series, which I think has been the best in the playoffs so far.
This is the best playoff matchup by far. Milwaukee, Brooklyn. First 2 games were interesting. 10, Milwaukee wins both games that they have at home, 3 and 4. And then game 5, very close. Honestly, Milwaukee should be up 3-2. They had, I saw it. I don't know if you saw it. Chris Middleton, he passes to Antetokounmpo. He's 2 feet from the basket.
I did.
And he drops the ball. He dropped the ball. And I'm just fuck. I was so mad. And I'm just the Canadian did not deserve this win. He was all by himself. It was so annoying. I'm I don't know. They say Harden's coming back.
I mean, he played last night, but
but did he really make a difference is what I'm asking. I don't know if he did, but yeah.
Well, he didn't drop 50. We know that. So
I'm saying that, but that's what I'm used to.
Yeah, it wasn't your typical James Harden type.
Exactly. I'm saying who's going to play Who's playing next game? Who's playing? Are they playing tonight or tomorrow?
No, I
Tomorrow.
don't think so.
Playing tomorrow. Yeah, that's what it says. Okay, but like that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just I don't know. What do you see with this series? I don't know.
I said Milwaukee in 7 from the start, and I'm going to stick with that. I think, other than the fact that they've won every game, the home team has won every game in this series, and that would lead you to believe Brooklyn's probably going to win. If not, maybe they can steal Game 6 and just close it out here. But Milwaukee has been in control both times, games 3 and 4 at home against this Nets team in this round of the playoffs, which is the one thing. But the second thing that has me believing they could still win this series, despite the fact they're down 3-2 and they need to win the next 2 in a row to win it, is the fact that each game they've played against the Nets on the road in Barclays Center in Brooklyn has gotten progressively better and much closer. Game 1, disaster. Game 2, bit more of a bit of a disaster, but not nearly as much as the first time. Then games 3 and 4, they won. They got better as it went along on their home court as well. And then game 5, which was a lot closer and by far their best game on the road in this round in the playoffs, was a very close one. And now I think that they're in the right mindset. They know they didn't get absolutely steamrolled, and they know their game plan for game number 6, which is do or die for them now. And if they can get to a game 7, think that this Bucks team, which has a lot more experience as a team with this group of players and this core, can go into Brooklyn and knock off. Yes, while Durant, Harden, Kyrie's not playing. He's out of the question right now.
He's out.
Durant and Harden, though, who have tons of playoff experience on their own, don't have it as a team together right now. And at the same time, they have a bit more of an inexperienced coach in Steve Nash, who's done a great job with this staff, don't get me wrong, and with this team. But it can only take you so far. So I still think the Bucks are winning this series in 7.
So when I think about it, this is like weird because it's a different sport, but I feel like this Milwaukee team this year is like Tampa this year in the NHL. I feel like every game they play, they get better. I don't know if you know what I mean.
No, I do.
Like, that's what it feels like. It feels like I know the first 2 games were blowouts, but they adjust really well. Like Budenholzer, he's not the best coach, but he's a very good coach. So, I mean, like, no offense to Steve Nash, he's a Hall of Famer. I just, when they said the hire, I wasn't a fan. I'm just like, just because he's a great player does not mean he's a great coach. Hello, Wayne Gretzky, anyone? Like, come on. But, like, whatever. I guess time will tell if he really is a good coach. I don't know. I don't think he is. Second of all, this is weird because this is just a player, but when I look at James Harden, I just feel like Toronto. Like, it's weird because it's one player, but it feels like he's always choking.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
I honestly, I love that comparison, Joey.
No, it's weird because it's like a player to a team. That's what I feel like. I feel like James Harden has never proven anything, which is weird, because the dude's been an MVP in this league, but he hasn't won. And so is Chris Paul. He hasn't won either. But I feel like Chris Paul's going to pull through.
Well, Paul's more of a team player than Harden.
Exactly. Like Harden, like the only time I ever saw him do something for the team last year was when he blocked that guy at OKC. Remember, like in the last game, and he basically said, "Hey, I'm going to the first round just to get eliminated in the second. I'll see you guys next week." And that's what happened. I'm pretty sure. And I'm just like, this happened. I don't want to say it's like Toronto, but I feel like it's the same crap every year, man. Also, that's the thing. I think Milwaukee's just a better team. I know those 3 together are better technically, but they haven't played together that many games, like 5, 6, 7 games the whole year they played. So I'm going to pick the better team any day. And I don't know if I said Milwaukee in 7, but I could dig that right now. I mean, that's the only way it's going to go. It could either be Brooklyn 6 or Milwaukee in 7. Well, I'll take Milwaukee in 7, man. Kyrie's hurt. He's a huge part of that offense. And I don't think KD can do it by himself. And if Harden's at full strength, then they'll win. But if he's not, it's KD by himself. And I don't think he's going to get lucky twice. I just don't think so.
Yeah, but we do want to point out that Kevin Durant did do something last night that he became the 4th player in NBA history ever to do, and that was have 45 points, or at least 45 points, 15 rebounds, and 10 assists, or 15 assists and 10 rebounds in a game.
Yeah, a triple-double.
15
last night. Yeah.
And that was, other than the fact that, that's a triple-double, but B, the only 3 players who had done it prior were Oscar Robinson in 1963, Charles Barkley in 1993, and Luka Doncic did it last year in the bubble for Dallas.
Is that the game he had the buzzer beater?
I don't remember.
But you remember that game, right?
I do remember that game. I don't remember if that was
I
the
feel
game.
like it was that game, but I could be wrong. But yeah, Big O, obviously triple-double king until Russell Westbrook dethroned him. But yeah, like, and
Yeah.
Charles Barkley, not bad company, KD. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's more. I know Durant was the one who joined, but I feel like if anything, it's kind of on the reverse. Like it's great company for Luka because Durant's been
that's true.
great in this game.
But the thing is, that happened
never got onto this list.
Right, but that happened before, so you know.
Kevin Durant's going down as a Hall of Famer. Like, there's no question about that.
No, I mean a lot of these players are, like Kyrie might. I don't know if maybe he will. He did win a championship. I think Harden will because he's been an MVP. Chris Paul will. So yeah, we got a few Hall of Famers still in the playoffs. Yeah, I'll say that.
That
okay.
wraps up.
And then that's it. Wait, and then do you want to just do the rest, or we don't do that? We just
gotta let it play out. By the round, we're letting it play.
Okay,
out.
fine. So round by round. Okay, that's basketball. Okay, so now we talking baseball. Josh, I'm gonna do a few little snippets. So you go first.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to start by saying that, heck of a series against the Padres with the New York Mets over the series. They got their second crack at them in a week. The Mets won the season series combined 4-3 out of the 7 games total that they played. They split 2-2 in San Diego. They took 2 of 3 in New York. They had an opportunity to sweep them and took a lead into the 7th, but Fernando Tatis Jr. happened, and he took the MLB lead in home runs. That was on Sunday, though, so it very well could have changed. I haven't checked those specific stats, but he hit a grand slam, broke the game open for his 4th grand slam of his career already, which is crazy. He's barely played a full season worth of MLB games. I don't even think so, because he played 80-something games in 2019, and then he did play in 50-something games last year, but that's still only 130. So he's just around a full season right now, in terms of his career. And the dude has 50-something home runs total, maybe more, probably, which is kind of crazy. There's a reason I picked him to win the MVP in the National League this year, back when we did that video. But either way,
yeah, I'd agree with that. By the way, after that grand slam, I'm definitely intrigued.
Sure. He's a heck of a player, and don't get me wrong. I know I was, kind of a little harsh on him for saying, he hasn't played a full season. He played 81 games in 2019. So it's not that much a shock that he managed to stay healthy for 50-something games in 2020. Not stay healthy. He got he got an off day every here and there. He had, or he was a pinch hitter or something like that every here and there. Plus DHing, there was universal DH. So, it's not always the same thing. Either way, though, I said, and, we talked about when he signed his $340 million contract extension, we don't know if he's even going to stay healthy for a full season. Let him do that first. So far, it's looking promising. They've been a heck of a player. They've played around 70-something, 80-something games with San Diego. So this season, and so far everything's looking good. I don't think he's going to be an injury-prone player. But with that being said, back to the Mets real quick. Luke Casey made a great start despite the fact that the Mets lost. He didn't, though. This is his 3rd straight start that he's gone at least 4 innings. He's not really a guy they rely on for depth into games. He's more a guy they rely on, just if they're going to have more of a bullpen-heavy game that, he could get through the lineup once or twice, even if it, only gets him through 4 or 5 innings. But he threw 1 run baseball, only 2 hits. And other than that, he also struck out 7, which is crazy. It was the first time ever that he threw over 80 pitches or 70 pitches in a game for the Mets. But he was fantastic in doing so. And other than that, game 1 of the series on Friday night, Jacob deGrom, another incredible outing. 6 shutout innings. He was taken out early in the after the 6th inning because he had flexor tendonitis sprain. So nothing too concerning. He is going to make his start tonight, like he said he would. It's been something like that in the past, but nothing too crazy that he's not uncomfortable. By the way, might I add, he had 2 hits and 2 runs batted in, which is insane. Because now he's batting 400. He has 5 RBIs, and that's more RBIs. That's more RBIs than he has earned runs allowed this year, and his combined, not in this game, obviously. And the amount of hits he has, he's up to 9 hits now, is more than the amount of runs total he has allowed this year. He has a .62 ERA through his first 10 starts, by the way, and that is the best in MLB history for the first 10 starts to start a season. And also he said, I don't know if this is just a Mets club record, if it's a baseball record, but he is the first pitcher to hit like 100 plus strikeouts in like the least amount of innings thrown, in like 60 or 61 and a third innings thrown. Either way, something like that. He was great. Stroman was great on Saturday. And yeah, I mean, that's been about it. I mean, Mets took the first 2 from the Cubs in this series. They started Monday and they won last night. And Joey, I don't know if you watched the game for any point, but in the last part of the game, there was a really debatable call where the Cubs third baseman Will Harris sent Jake Marisnick around third. Basically, the play was that 1 out in the 9th, Contreras singled, and Marisnick was into pinch run. Now, I don't know if you know him, Joey, but as a Mets fan, Jake Marisnick played for them last year, and I got a chance to see him play a little more than I might have normally when he was like with the Astros or even with the Marlins. And he could run. Let's just say that. He's no Tim LeCastro, Harrison Bader, but he could run. And Eric Sogard comes into pinch hit for the pitcher spot, and he bats left-handed. And Kevin Pillar, the center fielder, is shaded toward left field, which is the opposite. And Keith Hernandez on the broadcast was saying, like he's shaded a little, like look at that gap in right center. If he gets there, watch out, Marisnick might score because of his speed. Sure enough, hits a ball straight to the right center field gap. It doesn't go all the way to the wall, but it's like just on the warning track. And Pillar spins and fires into Luis Guillorme, who was playing second. And Marisnick, right around the time that Guillorme got the ball, was being sent around third. And they were like, oh my gosh, he hit it to the gap. Exactly what the Mets couldn't let happen. They were, taking the risk he was going to go oppo because the spray chart shows he does generally, but not here. And the only thing was it was going to take 2 perfect throws to get Marisnick out at home. And keep in mind, Chicago's down 1 run here, and there's already an out. And they also have Hayward on deck, who's like 0 for 3 coming into the at bat. And they got a rookie who is 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts in the 2 games combined, who hasn't gotten a hit in like 20 at-bats. So they're like, not much confidence. Do you agree? Either way, they sent him around, perfect throw Guillorme after a perfect, initial throw from Pillar, and they gunned him down at second, and the broadcasters were ripping on Will Harris, the Cubs third base coach, for sending him, saying it's a 1-out game, even if it's third, even if it's second and third, and you don't have a ton of confidence. Hayward is very capable, Joey. I think you could agree with this, of hitting a fly ball to tie the game, especially with as fast as Marisnick runs. Plus, he's coming around third, and the ball, sure, yeah, it went deep into the gap, but not all the way to the wall. Like, even a guy like Jake Marisnick is going to be slowing down eventually. And they gunned him down, and they ended up saving the game. They won it 3-2.
I'm sorry. What's your question here? Is your question?
Do you think the right move? Like you'd have.
I didn't see the play, so I can't
get the play. Like this is a play you want to see. Trust me.
Hold on. Let me pull this up. I'm going crazy.
This is less of a Mets thing at this point. It's
more. Like Jason Hayward, and that should pop up probably once I put that in.
No, not Jason Hayward.
Guillorme. Look up.
Jake
Marisnick. Yeah. Jake Marisnick.
Share the screen.
Hold on. I just want to make sure I find the right one. Okay. Let me pull that up. Okay. No. Damn it. Hold on.
Share your screen. I can show you which one it is.
No, it's not a video yet. It's just
I'm telling you, go to.
Oh, here it is. Okay, MLB.com. Okay. Here. Let's see. So I'm not putting on the sound.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. So Gallant, he's on first base. He's on first. What the? Okay, he's on first. Okay.
You see how big that gap was initially, right?
Because it was the shift?
Yeah. No, they weren't. They were shading him to the other side.
Okay. What's your point?
So the point is, I don't know if they're going to show it on the replay here. Look, that ball is smoked to the gap in right center. That's first off, right? But take a look you're watching Marisnik. He's on second. He's rounding. He's already at second base by the time he's already rounding second by the time Pilar is still chasing that ball down. The other thing, though, is they didn't show it here, but by the time Marisnik got to third base, and I don't think Willie Harris realized this, Guillorme was getting ready. Like, he had his glove position to receive the throw from Pilar. Like, the throw was already like 3/4 of the way to Guillorme by the time he had gotten to third. And so they were talking about how whether or not it was an over-aggressive save, like if it was too aggressive to send Marisnik on that, because that was the second out.
It was one out or 2 outs?
There was only 1 out.
No, you should have waited. I would wait. It's 1 out. What are you gonna like? If it's 2 outs,
play is very likely tying the game with the speed Marisnik has on third base.
Yeah, but you have no idea. Like, there's all every time you see these types of plays, there's always a graphic. Not a graphic, but there's like a picture of all 3 outfielders, and all of them, it's like a traffic light, right? And it's like a traffic light. So you have green or red. What does that mean? Green means you have the green light. It means that you can go. They don't have a good arm. Okay? So what you should do is you should know exactly who's going to get the ball if it hits that area. You should know if it's a red light, you don't fucking run. Okay? Simple as that. There's this guy. The Orioles suck. Okay? We all know that. There's this guy on the Orioles. Pretty sure his name is Austin Hayes. He's one of the best arms in the league. He throws so well from the outfield. Okay? You do not go for it. You do not advance the runners. You do not send him home when Austin Hayes has the ball. You just don't do it. You don't do it. Whether a pop-up or whatever, or you're rounding, it doesn't matter. You're not doing it. That's a bad idea. Okay? That's what I would say.
Yes, I mean, either way, to cap it all off, and you guys saw in the video, Seth Lugo was the guy on the mound. He was working there for a second straight inning because Edwin Diaz had the night off. And with that, he walked Hayward next. So it was first and second, but then I don't even remember his first name. Sorry. Sergio Alcantara. I don't know why. I was thinking Domingo. I was like, no, that doesn't make sense.
I thought you were saying Sandy Alcantara, and I'm like,
no. Like, same last name, different guy. Okay. Sergio Alcantara, who is playing second and shortstop for the Cubs because Javier Baez. By the way, Javier Baez had an absolute bomb last night into the right field.
I love Javier Baez.
Yeah. It was the only 2 runs the Cubs would score. By the way, Taijuan Walker, fantastic. 7 innings, just the 2 runs, only like 3 hits, 4 hits, 12 strikeouts. He was fantastic other than the Baez home run. And with that being said, Seth Lugo ended up striking out Sergio Alcantara to end the game. That was the 3rd out. The first out, Anthony Rizzo grounded out on a pretty hard hit ball. He hit it right into the shift, though, and Lindor threw him out. Second out was that crazy play at the plate. 3rd out, Lugo struck out Alcantara to end it. And might I also mention to cap it off that last night Pete Alonso drove in all 3 runs for the Mets. He had a 2-run single in the 3rd, and he had a sac fly in the 5th, sorry. And that was pretty much it. The Cubs have played some real good defense in the series also. And to close it out, I mean, DeGrom's on the mound tonight. It's a 4-game series. So he's making that start after, despite the fact he was, he wasn't allowed to go deeper into his last start because he was only at 80 pitches in that last start. He could have easily thrown another inning or 2. And yeah, and I'm going to be at that game. First Mets game since 2019. The last game I was at was the one where Pete Alonso was a rookie, and he actually set the Mets club record for most home runs in a season by any Mets player. He tied Carlos Beltran, and I don't remember who the other one is. The other player is the home run prior, and I was at the one where he broke it and set it for the Mets. Either way, hype time, unfortunately. And that game was against the Cubs also, and they got smoked in the end, but whatever. And tonight, I mean, DeGrom's going for his 7th win, and he's got an ERA under 1 by nearly half of that. So I don't know. Definitely going to be exciting, especially with the fact that they've upped their capacity now. I don't know if you got the opportunity to head to a game yet, Joey, but if you haven't, get over there.
Like just a baseball game or?
Yeah, baseball game.
I did go. It's actually funny you mentioned that. I was just looking at old pictures. I have them up here. Maybe I'll pull up a few in a second. I went to a game a few weeks ago. It was Memorial Day. It was actually crazy. It was a Yankee walk-off. I forgot who it was. It was like weeks ago. It's going to bother me now. Whatever. Yeah, it was a good game. It was against the Rays. Oh, man. It was a nice game. Trying to see where the pictures are. Just give me a second. Oh, here they are. Okay. Here, let me just pull this up for a second, then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled program. Okay. Here. Okay, let's. I wonder if you can share an image. Yeah, you can. Okay. So, yeah, this is the stadium. You know, blah blah blah.
Good seats.
Yeah, good. It was good seats. It was by a first baseline, third baseline, and it wasn't too low. You know, in case you got hit. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't take so many pictures, but yeah, it was electric. Like you can't see everyone, but like there are good amounts of seats, you know, being filled all around the stadium. It's pretty cool. You know, it was great to see fans. You know, like I was wondering, like if you get invited to a game, right? Like take price out of the thing because if it's free, you might still go. But if you have to pay for like a very cheap game, are you gonna like it if there's no one there? Like I don't think so. So I was glad fans were there. That was really awesome. You know, it makes the crowd more electric. And yeah, see, I got two more pictures here. There's like a tunnel or overpass like right outside the stadium, and I passed by. It has like Yankee legends. That's Joe DiMaggio, Thurman Munson, Whitey Ford, and Yogi Berra. But yeah, it was pretty cool, and I went with my dad, and yeah, we took a nice picture here it was cool. It was like a Mickey Mouse thing. So yeah. Anyway, but let's get back to this. Let's go back to our regular schedule program. But yeah, I went to the game. It was awesome. So Josh, what would you say is the number one rule of hitting a home run? Like when you hit a home run, what do you have to do?
Obviously, got to get a big fat bat flip.
No, I know, but that's like a new thing. But what's something you always have to do? Like not something you feel like. No, not something you feel like doing. It's something you actually have to do.
Oh, you got to touch the base.
Oh yeah, no shit. So someone should tell a guy I really like, but a rookie, Brian Hayes, that he has to hit when he hits an amazing home run like this. He should touch the fucking base. If you look at the replay, he didn't. I don't know if I'm gonna see it here. Hold on, but he didn't touch first base. Oh yeah, wait here it is. Look at this. Look at this crap. Look at this. Give me a sec. Hold on. Right there. He misses first base, Josh. What the fuck? He misses first base. What are you doing? It's when they say rookie mistake, that's supposed to be a joke. This is actually a rookie mistake. What are you doing?
U-Tree, I don't feel bad for your Penguins. Like I hate them so much at times.
Or your Steelers.
Or your Steelers, honestly. But like, dude, I know what it's like as a Met fan to be a dumpster fire at times. And bro, the Pirates are just, yeah, I feel like
Pirates are just the prospect, the prospect pool of the league. Like they not prospect pool, like basically they get all the prospects.
I mean, they have been though. I mean, you look at
what I mean like is
now and Austin Meadows and
I mean that's what I'm saying. Like they just get everyone and then they get rid of them. But they don't have any good. They're they're what the Rays should be, you know, like how the Rays always get like good players that you won't expect, and then they just ship them off. So the Pirates do that before the players are even really good, you know, or when they are good, but it's only like one season. So like a lot of people are thinking Adam Frazier's going to be gone, Brian Reynolds is going to be gone. So like who knows, you know? That was one thing I wanted to mention. The second thing was so I thought this was really cool. There was this guy. He was his name was Luke Williams. He was on Team USA. He hadn't really gotten a big start, and he basically it's 2 outs. It's a great scenario. 2 outs, bottom of the ninth against the division rival and the Braves, you know, and boom, dude hits a walk-off home runner in front of his family. By the way, his family was there to see him. This dude, so I thought that was pretty cool to mention. I don't know if you saw this. It was actually really awesome. But yeah, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. I just wanted to mention it. No thoughts, Josh? And then
Special moment. I mean, it's always special, especially when your first hit, not first hit, when your first home run is a walk-off.
yeah, and I'm not gonna show it because it's disgusting. Well, one's hurts my eyes and the other one's really gross. But I don't know if you saw Jose Abreu. He got hit by a bat from the ump, like because you know when the guy's running to home, the ump has to like take the bat and throw it. So he took it and threw it, and behind him was Abreu, and he hit him in the leg. So that kind of sucked. And the other thing was this pitcher, I forgot his name on the Tigers. He threw up like in the middle. It was like disgusting. I don't know if you saw
Oh,
it.
yikes.
It was disgusting. I was like, I feel bad for this guy. He must have been really sick that day, you know? And then I want to show one more thing. And then yesterday, the Yankees, they played a division rival in the Blue Jays, and it was a great game. The Yankees won hard. The highlight for me, at least, was a guy we called up from AAA, Chris Giddens, doing this against the Blue Jays. He hit his first ever hit, and it was a bomb, 440 feet, 39 feet to tie the game, and they won it in the end. But yeah, it was just good feeling, you know.
Yeah.
You always love when the guys that you pick up, you know, are. By the way, they're playing in Buffalo. Can we just laugh about that? It's pretty funny. I just want to point that. Yeah. So, sorry, Toronto. Guess you're not the only league that has a cursed team. Okay. Now I think that's it. Yeah.
That does it. That's gonna move us on.
Yeah. Because you know it's a long season, so. We got football, and I'm only going to talk about two things. So the first was this. So Josh, I'm going to give you a challenge right now. I want you to name as many as you can on the top of your head, head coaches for of all time for the New York Giants.
I'm not gonna lie, I can only give you like 3.
I was expecting you to give me 2, but fair enough. Okay, who?
Obviously, Tom Coughlin has to be one of them.
Okay.
Ben McAdoo has to be another.
Okay.
Pat Shermer,
okay,
obviously Mr. Judge right now.
Well, that's more than 3. I think you're missing a big one.
Parcells.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
No, but it's fine if you don't know anyone else. So obviously there are other ones like Jim Fossil and
I was thinking, yeah.
And Dan Reeves and yeah. But no, I'm here to talk about the one before Bill Parcells, and his name was Ray Perkins. He has sadly passed away at the age of 79, and everyone's just like, who the fuck is that guy? Well, let me tell you who this guy is. This guy hired Bill Parcells, who in turn hired Bill Belichick. So this guy's technically responsible for the beginning of the dynasty, you know, or at least that dominance they had in the late 80s, early 90s, you know. He drafted, and I don't know how much a coach is part of drafting versus a GM, but if he had as much say as he did, he drafted LT because LT was in 1981, Lawrence Taylor. So yeah, Bill Parcells was the defensive coordinator. He had to take over Ray Perkins, and then he needed his own defensive coordinator, hiring Bill Belichick, and so on and so on. So I got to give, you know, also he was the coach of Alabama, succeeding Bear Bryant, who's probably the most legendary coach there. Like, it will probably be Nick Saban in a few years, but right now it's Bear Bryant. They have like a statue of him. But yeah, that's a big ass taking over Ray Perkins, and then you're doing Major League Football. You know, like you're coaching in a big deal. And, you know, he didn't have the best career, but he had a good enough one, and he had good hirings. I mean, he basically hired his own successor without knowing it, and that successor won 2 Super Bowls for this team. So, yeah, I don't know if you have anything to say, because I'm not sure if you know who this was, but I just thought I should mention it because, you know, we're both Giants
fans. Not really much, but obviously, like, you know, we'll pay the tribute. Rest in peace. And, yeah, obviously a lot to do with the history that came after, so.
Yes, and the other thing is, so I think we can agree that the Julio Jones trade is the biggest trade by far of the offseason. And I think the only trade, and I'm not saying too much into it because, you know, it didn't happen yet or might not happen. I think the only trade that could supersede that one would be Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know if you saw this, but so Mark Murphy said this about Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up because I don't want to misquote him. He said, no, this is not the right thing. Hold on a second. Okay. He said, and it sounds really stupid, but he's saying that the situation with Rodgers has divided the fan base, and he's calling Aaron Rodgers, the MVP, the reigning MVP, a complicated fella. This is the president and CEO of the Green Bay Packers, Josh. And before you say anything, I just want to point this out. The Green Bay Packers are in a weird situation, okay? They're one of the very few teams in any sports league that does not have a real owner. They are owned by a conglomerate, a board of directors, if you will. Kind of like the Dodgers. You know, Magic Johnson, one of the owners, but they're owned by a few people. So it's kind of tough, you know, because like, say, hey, you might hate Dolan, but he would fix.
He's at least dependent on his own.
Yeah, he would fix this situation quick because, like, you do not want to get your stars angry. And I think this is incitement. You know, I think this guy's a dumbass. Like, maybe Aaron Rodgers is dividing it, but to call him a complicated, like, the dude's, like, is it really that complicated? The dude, they lost Jordy Nelson. They let him go. They drafted his successor. They traded up to draft a successor last year, like, when they could have drafted a receiver, like a skilled player, which they hadn't done in like 20 years or something, when they were just in the NFC Championship last year and this year. So, like, of course he should be pissed. And, like, it's not crazy to me that the MVP wants money. If it's a money thing, that's not crazy. And if it's a control thing, he's the MVP. Make him happy. He shouldn't have all say, but he should definitely have, like, there should be conversations. I don't know. You know, I just feel like this is a stupid comment by this guy because he doesn't have to answer anyone. He could just say to the board of whatever, the board of Green Bay, hey, you know, it's all good. I got it covered. He's like, okay, yeah, we're going to win. Yeah. So
I feel like Aaron Rodgers, I mean, like, he only does have two, but now I really feel like Rodgers only has two things. One is straight up say, you know what, F you, and go to the Broncos, I guess, because that's, like, the other team everyone's associating him with. And, like, just demand a trade out of Green Bay at this point.
See, that's what bothers me, Josh. He hasn't even asked for a trade. It's not even like he said he wants to leave. He's just unhappy a little bit, but he doesn't want to leave. Like,
and then the second thing is that he could just, like, straight up retire. Like, I mean,
nah.
I don't know if he wants to do that. He still has another, like, good, like, 2 or 3 years left in him.
Dude, if Brady's playing till 43 at this point,
I'm saying at this level, like, I mean, like, look, knowing Rodgers probably way more than that, but still, I mean, like, the dude is like he's not numerically still in his prime, but he's playing like he's still in his prime, and it's not close. He just had his best season, arguably, of his career.
So good. He's so good.
Like, they were the 1 seed in the NFC for a big reason. And let me tell you, because Devontae Adams, the dude was absolutely fantastic. He also missed like 5 games during the regular season. They didn't do it all with him.
Yeah,
he was
Bob Tunyon too. Yeah.
I mean, like, Tunyon was massive for them. Lazard was a huge pickup. Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, that backfield was massive in the receiving game. And it was all because Rodgers made it work. Just straight up. I don't know how else to say it. You know, also I want to give props. Also, I'm sorry I didn't mention the play of, oh crap, what's his name? Damn,
we got
Marcus Valdes-Scantling also.
Okay.
Who's also, you know, a big piece of that team. You know, I don't think Rodgers wants to leave, but they should, like, you know, I don't think he wants to feel like he's being completely disregarded from everything either. I mean, like, he is the franchise quarterback for this team. He is the backbone of this team. He's been it the last decade. He's won Super Bowls. He's won not Super Bowls. He's won a title. He's gotten the MVP. He's been the best team in the league. You know, he's been the heart and soul of that team. And yeah, defensively, they've had obviously some insane pieces like Clay Matthews and Charles Woodson, right? And Nick Collins, and on the line, you know, like, I mean, like, even on the offensive side, yeah, like David Bakhtiari's, you know, a massive, like, franchise type turning player.
He's so good. One of the best left tackles in the game.
And obviously, I mean, like, oh man, what was the other guy?
They used to have Brian
Lang, also TJ Lang, also another huge piece. But I mean, like, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers, like, not arguably because Brady's Brady, but like probably the second best quarterback of this generation. Like,
I would argue he's the best. I mean, but I hear what everyone's saying, but like
it's Brady. Like, honestly, if Brady doesn't exist, it's kind of like the Mike Trout, Mookie Betts conversation. If not for Mike Trout, Mookie Betts is the best player in baseball, and it's not close. Same thing here. If Brady is not in the league,
I hear you.
Rodgers is the best quarterback, and it's not close. That's just the way it is.
I don't know. I just always felt like Tom Brady had better teams every year than Aaron Rodgers did. I always felt that way, but I could just be me.
Yeah.
But that's fair. I hear you. As yet, I'm saying this is the MVP, the reigning MVP. Are you seriously going to disrespect the reigning MVP? What if he says, Aaron, what have you ever done? What have you done? What have you ever like? Dude won you a Super Bowl.
I've won a Super Bowl. I won
a Super Bowl. I won an MVP.
The best record in the league, and I brought you to numerous NFC title games. What more do you want?
Well, seriously, what more could you ask for?
And half these games aren't his fault, by the way, because 2014 against the Seahawks.
That was a comeback. That was a crazy comeback.
Game. 2019-20 against the San Francisco 49ers. Defense didn't show up at all that entire game. 2021 against the Buccaneers. No, defense didn't show up. Like Rodgers, like he held that game. He paced it so well. Like they gave up that touchdown to Scotty Miller at the end of the first half. And
when that happened, I knew it was over. I'm just like,
I knew it was over. I was like,
I watched that play.
The score is close. Like the competition is not going to do anything.
I don't know who that was. I don't know if that was Alexander or Chris. I don't know what his name was. There was the other guy. Whoever was guarding Scotty Miller did not try. I don't know what was going on. That was bad. That was a bad play. I'm just like, you're not trying. It's terrible. Yeah. And
like great play by Brady and like.
No, I know, but like that should not be a play. That shouldn't happen. Yeah. Any like respecting defender would cover that. I'm not saying it would fully be blocked, but like he shouldn't have all that space to run for a touchdown. It's bullshit. That's ridiculous.
Anyway, we gotta move on, Joey.
Yeah, I mean, and that's it. That's it for football. We're gonna talk hockey now. And how do you want to do this, Josh? I personally want to do the big news last, if that's okay.
Yeah, well, we can go right ahead with that.
We'll do playoffs, but first I want to mention two quick things. Okay, so free agency, it technically hasn't started yet, but I'm gonna show you that one thing kind of happened. And of course, it's Toronto. They just signed Jason Spezza to a 1-year extension. Thoughts, Josh?
Yeah, I'm happy. He fits this team well. He's not going to cost them a ton of money. He's played very well with them. And, yeah, I mean, like, I don't like it for I'm happy for Spezza that he's getting the offer, but I'm also, like, sad because he's not going anywhere with this team. Not him. Like, this team isn't going anywhere. And we know that already. Like,
I'm confused. Do you feel bad for him or not?
No, I do. But, like, I don't in the sense that he's his age and he's getting offered contracts still.
I think he did pretty well this year.
I think he did really well this year. I'm just like the Rangers weren't going to do this, but like, why couldn't he like come to like whatever? Go to a team that's like turning a corner that actually has promise. Because the Maple Leafs have turned that corner for the last 4 years and they haven't made it past a game 7. So,
I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't remember how long ago he's been on the team, but maybe when they first offered him, they offered him a lot more money than he was making now.
Yeah.
So that might have been it. And I don't think the Rangers would have given him that much then. I think they would have done what they did the past few years, these 1-year deals, but I think they should probably sign him for more than. I'm not going to look it up now, but I'm pretty sure. The second thing, it's not like an official thing, but Dougie Hamilton, one of the biggest free agents, he's been granted permission by the Canes to talk to other teams. So,
interesting.
What would you think, Josh? Huh? By the way, it's very interesting.
Look, he's not signing with the Rangers.
No, I know. But this is what I did think. But this I thought was interesting. This line here: the Hurricanes. There's only 2 teams that could offer him a max. It's the Hurricanes and the Kraken.
So you make a good point to say that because the Golden Knights had their franchise defenseman, or not their franchise defenseman, like they drafted, like. They're like the guy they wanted to be the leader on that blue line, not necessarily for skill or for leadership, in Derek Englund. He's the hometown guy. He's got plenty of experience. Now, Dougie Hamilton, like no offense to Derek Englund, is much more skilled and has a lot more to his career that has gone on. I mean, Englund's won a cup. He was with the Penguins all those years. At least I think he has. And Hamilton, obviously, huge piece in every team he's been in. And if he could be that guy, similar to the way, I guess on the offensive side of things, most people were expecting a captain on Vegas to be someone like, to be someone like Carlson or Marchessault or Smith, because they were like, the big three forwards who were drafted up high for that team. And it didn't happen. But I mean, like,
yeah, but Mark Stone is fantastic.
no, I'm saying like first coming in, but like Hamilton would be. I mean, like he's been a leader almost every time. He's gotten numerous alternate captains on teams he's been on. He'd be the perfect guy to start this franchise that we know for a fact is available right now, especially the fact.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate him in Seattle. He'd be a great pickup. I don't know if you put a.
Well, the other thing that I meant to add also is Ron Francis is the GM of the Seattle Kraken,
and he played for Carolina.
Who brought him in from Carolina? So yeah.
Yo, imagine him and Rod just ship over to Seattle. That'd be
cool. You never know.
Yeah, but it's cool.
Rod Brindamore wouldn't be opposed to having him as the captain if he's.
I think if Rod ever left Carolina, which I don't think he will, I think he'd go to Seattle because of Ronnie Francis. I think there's a good chance. But
it's very low key. Like everyone from like Carolina is like being targeted towards Seattle because Ron Francis.
Yeah, because Ron Francis,
Brindamore might end up going there if he doesn't stay. Hamilton's in talk with them right now, and their broadcaster John Forsland just signed a 5-year deal with whatever their station is over there to be their broadcaster. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, so it's gonna be exciting stuff. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hate. I mean, I don't know. First year captain, I don't know if that's a thing. Like it could be, but I wouldn't be a fan. I would wait. See who stays, who goes. Because technically it could have been James Neal. Remember James Neal was on that team. So no. Also, like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they might give it to the local guy. Although Derek England, he wasn't a great player as much as anyone else. So. If they get a TJ Oshie or Tyler Johnson from Seattle, maybe they'll make them captain. Probably not. But yeah, Dougie Hamilton, he'd be a fantastic pickup. I don't know if they're going to expose him. I mean, I don't know. I gotta see Carolina's. I don't know if you saw it. I forgot who said it. I think it was. I don't know if it was Slavin or Hamilton. One of them was like about the Lightning. They're like, oh yeah, we lost to a team $18 million over the cap. I don't know if you saw that, but yeah, it's So yeah, we gotta see Carolina's cap situation, and that's that. And then the last thing to talk about before the playoffs and the big news, obviously, it's NHL Awards Week. So, I'm just gonna tell you the two. Do you know who won the first two?
I know Oscar Lindblom won.
Right. So okay. So we're gonna just cover the two that happened, and let's just predict the rest. Yeah. If we. Okay. So the first one on and off the ice award, sportsmanship.
I knew really. I didn't know what it was.
I'm gonna explain each one if you don't know. King Clancy, on and off the ice, sportsmanship. Curtis Gabriel, Pecorine, P.K. Subban. This went to Pecorine. And not gonna lie, I don't care. It's good. It's a good award, I guess. He did good stuff. I mean, I know he spared a cancer fund, so good for him. It's actually funny because I feel like PK, I'm pretty sure gets nominated for this one like every year, and it's like the funniest thing. He's like one of the weirdest players ever. That like. He seems like such a good guy off the ice, but on the ice, he's like an asshole, which made him get traded out of Montreal. I don't know. It could just be me. Like, he had fights with patches and stuff. But you know what I'm talking about. The second thing was Bill Masterton. This is like someone who goes through adversity. Yeah. This is one of my favorite awards because this is like a real big deal. Like Dominic Moore won it years ago after his wife passed away from cancer. Chris Anderson, I think, won it. Bobby Ryan, who had a lot of
because he was the one who presented it to Lindblom this year.
Right. So. I'm saying every year they do that. I'm saying Bobby Ryan because of alcohol, and Lindblom, he's had a lot of injuries, and like I feel bad for him. He gets injured a lot. But yeah, he's definitely been through perseverance and dedication to hockey. So I'm definitely not opposed to him winning this. Definitely not.
It's not a shame because he got back on the ice, but it's just a shame that when he
didn't have so much time on the ice.
Well, it's not even that. It's just a shame that when he got back on the ice, they were in the bubble and they didn't have like if they would have had an arena packed full of fans, I can only imagine the support he would have gotten.
Yeah, fans always help with that type of thing. Willie O'Ree, it's not really an NHL award like it is, but it's a very new award. It's like the people on this are not hockey players, so we're just not gonna cover it. Jack Adams Award, Rod Brindamore, coach of the Carolina Hurricanes. Joe Quenneville, coach of the Florida Panthers, and Dean Evison, who is coach of the Wild, I think.
I think he is, yeah.
Yeah. See, okay, listen, it's not a popularity contest. Otherwise, I picked the other two. And I love Rod, but he's been great every year. And Joe Quenneville took a massive step this year. Florida was amazing. But I got to give it to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Who the hell thought that they
No
were?
one thought they were going to be in the playoffs.
Nobody. And they took Vegas to 7. So, like, props, man. Real props. I'm giving it to that guy. It's going to be announced tomorrow night. I'm calling it right now. It's going to that guy. Okay. Frank J. Selke. This is the best defensive forward.
We both know who we're voting on this one.
All right. It's Patrice the Beast. I don't know.
I'm Stone here. I'd give it to Stone, but
no, I'm saying it's a joke that's gonna be Patrice Bergeron for like the 17th time. But yeah, I'd rather give it to Stone too. This is like a who I think should and who I think will. You know what I mean? Like Barkov. No offense, they always need 3 people for every award. He shouldn't be in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but whatever. I'd rather have like O'Reilly, Couturier, but whatever. I hear you. Patrice wins it every year. Mark Stone, I feel like if he doesn't win it, it goes to Patrice. I feel like it could just be me. I feel like there's like a stigma because everyone, when they think of the Selke, they think of a center. I don't know. It could just be me.
Yeah, I mean, everyone thinks. I mean, Kopitar's won 2 in the last couple of years. Couturier's won 2 a couple times.
I'm saying it's always centers,
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't feel like they like giving it to wingers. That being said, Mark Stone is by far the best 2-way winger in the game.
Oh yeah, no question.
It's not even close. Like, I'd like to see Panarin be like that. He's had a few good moments, but no, it's Mark Stone. I love Mark Stone. I would love for him to win that. That'd be sick. So I'd be down for that. Okay.
We talked about it last time when we mentioned Jonathan Marchessault in specifics, and I'm shocked he's not up here.
Yeah, I mean him or William Karlsson, like both of them. Like this is basically just the players' sportsmanship award. Like
I mean, for me, this has to go to Spurgeon. All the crap he was given coming into the year, like he's a young captain and he's like he was undrafted, this, that. The team is like so like in the middle of nowhere. Like they're not good, but they're not like, a draft lottery caliber team. I mean, like just to take it and say, okay, like, and to take all that and turn it into the season he had and that his team had and still respect the hell out of everyone. Just like, I can't not give it to him. I can't not pick him.
I mean, I gotta agree, man. He first year captaincy, and look what he did with it. He took. I don't know if it's obviously there's another player on this list I'll nominate for another award. That was a big part of it, but you can't deny that Jared Spurgeon wore that C on his sleeve or on his chest. Like
more for the team than he did for himself.
I think I honestly, Josh, I remember we covered this. There were 3 captaincies, no 4 that we covered when they happened. It was Nico Hischier, which was like, okay. I remember I made that joke about,
right. Okay, yeah. Like we got to move this.
Okay, I'm just whatever. Ryan O'Reilly was a no-brainer. Mark Stone was a no-brainer. But I was really surprised by Spurgeon a little bit because I just thought it would go to someone who's been on the team much longer, like Ryan Suter or Zach Parise.
Well, Spurgeon has been on this team for about the same time as those guys. I don't know as much about Suter, but Zach Parise, you got to take into account, was with the Devils still in like 2012. Spurgeon came up in 2013-14, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he came up then. I know he was on that team at the time. So he's been on this team for a while. Like he came up when he was like 19, 18 years old.
Okay. But yeah, I guess I'd agree. Jared Spurgeon, he's a class act. And yeah. General Manager of the Year, not announced yet. We'll cover it next week. Mark Messier Award.
Calder, I think it's pretty clear that Kaprizov has to be the pick.
So yeah, for the Calder, it's like it's not even a question.
It's not even a question. Like it's
Kirill the Thrill. Like we're not who are we kidding?
Other than that, Hart, McDavid, next.
The Hart. Who are we kidding in this one? I love McKinnon. He should stop beating people at the end of games and throwing helmets. But yeah, I love him.
But I mean, McDavid made NHL history. Basically.
Austin Matthews, you won the Rocket Richard automatically, and the Connor McDavid. But Connor McDavid won the Art Ross, and he did it in like 56 games. Do you understand that, Josh? Like 30 less games than anyone else.
He's for over 150 points this year in a full season.
Dude, that's
ridiculous.
It's him. It's not even a question. Now, this is the first.
We both know who we're voting, okay? Like
this is the first hard award to vote for because we all want Adam Fox to win, but we're all scared because of the name recognition.
Victor Hedman is
Victor Hedman's just gonna win it without even trying. But let's just be clear: this is a regular season award, okay? I know they do it during this is being presented during the Cup final, and Victor Hedman may well get this in the middle of the Cup. I hope he doesn't. I hope it's Adam Fox. That'd be pretty funny. You know,
no disrespect to Hedman. Like, this is just a fan.
No, he's amazing. But I want to say that this is Adam Fox's year, man.
Yeah, I want to say that too. I mean, he led all defensemen
first in
points.
assists by a defenseman, second in points by a defenseman, top 5.
Second in points. I thought he was first in points and just second in assists. Barry.
Hold on, I need to check. I'm pretty sure it was the opposite, but I could be wrong.
I might be wrong also, but like I know he was.
No, I know he was first and second. So okay. So, there's the playoffs. Hold on. Okay, regular season. So it says right here. So points, second in points, yeah, and first in assists. I was right.
Fine. Okay, fine.
It was between him and Tyson Berry for first and second in points.
I knew that. I didn't know which was which though. Okay, next.
Right, and not only was he first in scoring and second in assists for just defensemen, he was top 10 in assists
in the NHL.
For anyone. Yeah. You understand? He was 6.
Mm-hmm.
6. That's crazy. He had more than Panarin. Not by a lot, but that's crazy.
Still had more than
insane. So that's what I gotta say about that. Yeah. Then we got the Ted Lindsay. And this is the Players Player Award. This is everyone's favorite player, class act. I don't know. This is the hardest one. I'll give it to Sidney Crosby.
But I feel if Crosby's up here and it's not just like a
this might be one of the last times he's nominated for an award in any fashion. So I'll give it to Crosby.
Yeah, give it to Crosby. Vezina.
Vezina. I'm going Marc-Andre Fleury, man. I feel like I think Hellebuyck's the best, but between these three, like I think Hellebuyck should get over Grubauer, like out of the in the 3 recommended, and obviously Vazzy deserves to be there. I think it's Fleury, man. I really do. I think he's just phenomenal.
Yeah, as much as I want to pick Philip Grubauer for the season he had, it's tough.
Listen, I'm sure he was a part of it.
He didn't play the full season.
Yeah.
So maybe that
played a lot.
Fleury didn't either. But Vasilevsky played a lot more. It's obviously
but I feel like Tampa was just gonna get to the playoffs anyway. You know what I mean? Like.
If you look at his numbers, though, like everyone's like, "Oh, it's an offense." Like, no, because it's not just the offense. Like the goalie, like the play by, I gotta give it to Vasilevsky.
I'm giving it to Fleury. I think.
Look, whatever. It's a respectful disagreement.
Yeah, I just think he's just been better, and we'll see in the Stanley Cup final who's the better one. Because, we didn't even do that part yet. But let's do it
right now. Right now,
let's do that. We got 2 matchups left.
We gotta do this fast.
We got two matchups left. I don't know if we finished any of the rounds before, but just a very quick recap. Montreal swept. I mean, I think Scheifele had a big part to do with that. Tampa Bay already advanced at that point. New York advanced. Colorado lost, Josh. They fucking lost in 6.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That was crazy.
And look, I wasn't wrong with who I said won this series, but I expected it to go to a game 7.
I thought so too. I don't want to be that guy, but like, did Colorado choke? I don't know.
I don't want to say they. I mean, look, they were.
It didn't feel like it. They had leads, man. They had leads,
and they were without Kadri. But then again, like McKinnon, Landeskog, Rantanen. Enough said. The best in the National Hockey League.
Like this might be when Tampa
best playoff player in the National Hockey League.
Right.
Enough said.
I'm saying this might be
a Vezina goaltender. I mean, 2. I mean, theoretically 2. But I mean, a blowout momentum going into, not even just game 2, because they won game 2 also. They won it in overtime. But oh my gosh, it just.
Yeah, but game 1 was Leonard, but still, whatever,
Yeah, but I mean, Fleury still took the loss in game 2. That being said, he was.
Yeah, but they got a power play in overtime. But yeah, that's true.
Like, oh my gosh, this is why I both loved and hated this series.
It was the best series. It was so good. It was so good.
The 2 best teams, in my opinion.
One of them was out. One of them was leaving.
One of them had to go before the semis. And that's just that's a playoff round that is meant for the semis, if not the Cup final.
I'm saying it just sucked because of the way the playoff structure was this year. You were only going to play.
Yeah, it's just look, hopefully when they move, if they move back, and I'm assuming they will move back.
They will. I hope so.
Yeah, then, maybe it won't happen. Maybe they will be able to reach the conference finals together. The question is how, what else in the layout has to happen. But wow, like Colorado won 6 straight, and it's not even
And then
like
lost 4 straight.
I don't want to
They
say
got reverse swept, Josh.
They got reverse swept. Now that being said, like 3 of those games were fairly close. Game 2,
right? Because we expected
close.
that.
Game 5 was close, and even Game 6 to an extent was close.
Not on paper, but yeah.
Not on paper, but like throughout the play,
it was close. It was like the last 5 minutes, and then like the floodgates opened.
Yeah, Vegas just
like when Nick Holden and who was it? Whitecloud, I think.
Yeah.
They both scored. Like I always say this, when you're third.
Petrangelo scored, not Whitecloud. Petrangelo.
Oh, by the way, that was a crazy goal. Hit off the glass. Boom. It just that was great. It was such
and I just want to point out, by the way, that with this, okay, Nathan McKinnon had something. I mean, like, I'm sorry it had to happen, but his exact words were, like, when asked about the situation.
Oh, yeah, you saw that reporter? Oh,
he was like, I mean, I'm entering my 9th year in this league, and I haven't won censored. And you know what? I don't blame him. Like, in my opinion, he's the best playoff performer because, I mean, McDavid just hasn't gotten the opportunity to be there that much.
It's crazy that the best playoff performer hasn't won the Stanley Cup. Crazy.
Modern days, best playoff performer. And
yeah, but how far are you going modern day?
Offensive.
2-3 seasons?
Offensively.
Yeah.
And it's not just mine. Like other players, like Mark Scheifele spoke about it. John Klingberg spoke about it. Alexander Barkov spoke about it, with McKinnon specifically. So with that being said, I mean, like, I feel for Colorado, but look, I mean, like I said, while Colorado is the best, like, talent team, Vegas is the best team. And I think that it's going to be their year, that they're going to the finals. Now, granted, Carolina's out, so now I need to pick a new. I said Tampa's going to win that series, but yeah, let's get back into it. I mean,
yeah. So Islanders,
we got every one of these teams,
right? So
by the way, has not played more. Well, actually, no. Never mind.
Okay, so we got Islanders Lightning. It's tied 1-1. Islanders won the game, very close, and then the Lightning just raped them kind of in the second game.
I was gonna say at first that every one of these teams had to beat the one in their division. Actually, no, that is what happened.
No, that's what happened. That's how it was.
The Canadians had to beat the Maple Leafs. The Golden Knights had to beat the Avalanche. And I forgot that the Penguins were the one. For a second, I was like, oh, wait, wasn't the Capitals? And I was like, no, wait, the Penguins.
Oh, wow. I just realized that. Yeah, there's no number one of these
teams had to beat the 1 seed in order to advance at some point in the playoffs, whether it was the first or second round. And looking at that now, that's the case, which means that not only did obviously, while all these teams had to do it, that also means that very obviously there are no 1 seeds that made it past the second round. I mean, 2 of them were knocked out after the first. I'm kind of shocked about that. Like, the Penguins are a bit of a soft 1, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and Toronto was also,
but not against their own division. They weren't really. Like, I guess we learned that the hard way.
I'm gonna just say this. I think the Metro, or whatever you call it this year, it was the most stacked, but I didn't think any of those teams were the best of the best. If that makes sense?
I didn't think any of these teams.
They're all like close. They're all like parity. They're all like it's the best division, but they don't have the best teams. Like, the best teams were Vegas, Colorado, Tampa. Those are the best teams, So, I'm just saying, like, 1 seed, 2 seed. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Islanders, Tampa. I just gotta say one thing: the refereeing in the second game was really weird. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, one play, Braden Point got pushed into the goalie, and they said it was
on him. Like,
no, I'm saying, and then they get a penalty, and then the Islanders score, and then the Tampa has 7 guys on, and then they score when they have the 7 guys. So just both, like, really missed calls by the refs, like, just messed up. Like, reffing's gotta be better, man. And you start getting, like, the sickness, the virus from baseball, like. Cut that shit out of here.
All right, yeah. Let's not talk. Why
don't you just predict your Islanders Tampa?
I think I said last time that Montreal and Vegas are going in 7, and now that I've seen Montreal play, we don't know how they're going to play at home. For all we know, they might be ridiculous at home, and they might absolutely rape.
I was asking Islanders Tampa, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just doing it because like Vegas Montreal is tonight, so
Okay, fine. Vegas, Montreal. Vegas creamed them game 1, and I'm just like, okay,
Vegas
see, Montreal,
Vegas
this is what happens when you play out of your division, which is what I feel. But that's it. Yeah.
Well, look, you can't blame Montreal for that.
No, I'm just saying Montreal fans got to, get a slice of humble pie. That's all.
We get that. Anyway, Vegas in 6. I
Really?
think I said Vegas in 7 at first. I'll take Vegas in 6. Yeah, like what the heck.
Okay.
I think Montreal gets like 1 game at home. Maybe they like stay alive in game 5 if they're down 3-1. I don't think it's going to be crazy. Now, that's assuming they're not going to absolutely destroy the Golden Knights on their home ice, because the Bell Center has been rocking big time ever since they've gotten back in the later stages of round 1. But whatever, we'll cross that. They'll cross that bridge when they come to it, or we will also with our predictions. As for the Islanders, Tampa, I mean, I said that Tampa was going to like absolutely wreck them in 5 games, which could still happen. But now that it's tied, the Islanders stole the first game of the series on home ice. I mean, on the Lightning's home ice. And I mean, granted, yeah, the Lightning won 4-2, but it didn't really like let up until the very end, because the Islanders kept it close. And fun fact, the Islanders, when heading into the second period, tied, were 8-1. 8-1. That's crazy. Because all they really need is 1. And
I'm guessing that was
they're one of the best down teams in the NHL defensively.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I picked Tampa to go I picked Tampa after when we did the updated thing, not the one like Carolina's out and I got screwed with that with that prediction. But for where it is now, like the Islanders might actually be able to win this series just for how good they've played on home ice. Now, granted, 6 games, yeah, they're only 4-2. Both those games have been 1-goal games. And at the same time, if they can take a game, like even so, like so far, both series they played, and this one is starting to turn out with the same configuration. I said it last round because I said what happened in the first round. They split the first 2 games on the road. They split the second 2 games, but they won game 4 specifically. They only won game 4, and then they stole game 5, and they won game 6 to close it out on their home ice. That's what happened in the first round. Same thing happened in the second round, and it's gearing up to be that way in the third round. I'm fully expecting them to lose game number 3 because the Lightning have momentum after that game 2 win. The Islanders are going to be like, okay, like we're not going down 3-1 to Tampa so they can put us away and they're on their home ice. They're going to win game 4. I think they could steal game 5 because of the momentum they get from game 4, getting back into a series claw ahead, and knowing that they're perfect in closeout games this year, especially on home ice where both have been, and to get back to the Cup final for the first time since 1983, like that's huge. So don't tell me I'm not predicting that's how it's going to happen. But the Islanders might actually be able to win this series. And you know what? For the bold take, I'll say I'll go balls to the wall and say they win it in 6 somehow.
I'm confused. You're saying what?
Originally, I said Tampa was going to wreck the Islanders in 5 when we did this the last time. I'm like going full retard mode and saying Islanders in 6 again, and it happens the same way, winning games 4, 5, and 6 again.
Hey Josh, you know what the Islanders will be next after this season? Homeless. They don't have a fucking stadium, okay?
And honestly, that's what I think. I know this is a stupid thing, but I think
that's why I think they're as far as they are.
History that they like knowing it could be every home game except for like game 3, but knowing that every game at Nassau except for game 3s could be their final home game there. Like they'd much rather go out with a bang.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like they're inspired, but next year they're going to be in some brand new place and they're just going to be crap again.
Which looks amazing, by the way. UBS.
That's my prediction. I'm sure. Maybe it'll be better than Barclays.
Yeah, look, I had the opportunity, Joey, to experience that game 6 against the Penguins, and knowing it very possibly could have been their last because they were up 3-2. But even if they lost, I mean, like if they lost, they wouldn't have been out, but they would have potentially. Been eliminated.
It would have been the last home game possible.
It would have been the last home game ever at Nassau Coliseum.
Okay, so I'm saying that's the only reason I feel like they're like this.
Look, I mean, they got back to the conference. They're back in the semis. They're calling it the Stanley Cup semifinals. I'm just going to call it the conference finals.
It's the conference final. What's with this crap with the semis? Everyone's got to.
Because on paper, division-wise, it wasn't. But either way, I mean, like,
listen.
Back here, and they already have one more win in this series now than they did at this time last when they lost the first two. So
yeah, and I'm speaking to. Well, you said to yourself they were in very similar situations the first two rounds, and they're probably going to end up. I'm going to tell you a story, Josh, really quick. NBA last year, the Denver Nuggets, future MVP Nikola Jokic, and a guy we would hear as legend to years to come named Jamal Murray, down 3-1 against I don't remember. Jazz? No, it was the Clippers. The Clippers.
We were like setting the stage, and I was like,
it was the Clippers or the Jazz.
And then you screwed it up, and honestly,
it was either the Clippers or the Jazz. I'm trying to remember. It was one of them. I think one was one round and one was the second round. The point is 3-1. They're down 3-1, and they win. They come back and win Game 7. Next round, I guess that's the Clippers or Jazz, whichever one. They're down 3-1. They come back and they win. And then guess what? They're playing the Lakers, and they're down 3-1. And everyone's like, shit, here we go again. And guess what? They fucking lost. Okay? So just because you were in a situation in the round before that and the round before that does not mean it will happen the same exact way. And no offense, Josh, Boston's a solid team, and so is Pittsburgh. Tampa's a different animal, and don't forget it. Okay? As I said before when we were talking about Milwaukee, every game they play, they get better. Every game. Did you see that goal Braden Point had where he was just like this? He was just like deking over. Like he was right in front of the goalie. He was just taking his time. He could do that anytime he wants. He could do that. He scored last night. He was phenomenal. Braden Point is going to score. Hedman might score. Stamkos, Kucherov. Like, you're not stopping all of them. I just don't see it happening. I'll give you Islanders in 6 because I think they're just going to win at home because they'll have that desperation mode. But I honestly feel like Tampa's going to win one at home because I think they're winning Game 3 tonight because of the momentum. And the Islanders are going to feel like freaked out, and they're going to win Game 4. And then Tampa's just going to close it out. And that's what I think is going to happen. But, yeah, that's what I think is happening. So, yeah, Tampa in 6. And for Montreal and Vegas, good luck, Carey Price. You're losing in 5. I'm giving you no chance. I'm sorry. You're not. You played Toronto, and you played Toronto and you knocked out Tavares, and you played Winnipeg and you knocked out Scheifele. And I'm sorry, but that makes a difference. I'm sorry. Those are some of the top scorers. Like one of their top scorers. Like you think it's not gonna make a difference in the goals of the game? No. Listen, Vegas and Tampa could lose these series in only one way. If they have a star like that go down, if a Kucherov goes down, if a Mark Stone goes down, I hope it doesn't happen. But if those types of players go down, then yeah, they can lose, obviously. But the fact that they're both healthy, I'm giving them a shot. So, yeah, that's all I got to say.
That does it for the predictions.
Yeah.
So now on to bigger and better things, at least for Rangers fans.
Okay. I just dropped something. Can I pick it up? Just give me 5 seconds. I'll be right back. Just 5 seconds. Hold on. Okay, I got it. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, Rangers fans. Are you ready? Fasten your seatbelts, baby. Because guess what? Last week, we saw something. We thought it was real. Then we looked at it, and there were 3 Fs. If you know what I'm talking about, whatever. It doesn't matter. It wasn't fucking true then, but it's fucking true now. After many, many weeks, after the fire sale of – sorry, we lost John Davidson. It sucked. We lost Jeff Gordon. David Quinn was fired, though. So that was presenting a very –
absolute misery.
Mediocrity is something I'd say toward the end, but fair enough. Not great either. We needed a new coach. We said a few weeks ago that we had many good candidates available and nobody was perfect, right? Even when the Knicks got it, there was nobody perfect, but the best choice was Thibodeau. And for the Rangers, there's only one choice, okay? And that is the man that took the Vegas Golden Knights, who we all love on this channel. Sorry, guys. I'm really excited. They hired the recent winner of the IHSF World Championship for Team Canada. Gerard Gallant is the new coach of the New York Rangers, Josh. Holy shit. Let's go. 4 years, baby. We got our window. Let's hit it.
Yeah. And I'm trying to find the specs of the contract right now.
It's 3.5 million, which is less than Quenneville, who makes 5, and Trotz, who makes like 4.5. And that's okay because we're still paying Quinn. And it doesn't matter what you pay him because there's no salary cap for coaches or front offices. So it doesn't matter what you pay him. But it doesn't fucking matter. 3.5 million, 4 years. We got it for 4 years. We got a window, Josh. We got a fucking window. Say something.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, heck of a signing. Chris Drury, I mean, like, Joey and I talked about it earlier, and I said I wasn't super ecstatic about the fact that, Jeff Gordon was relieved, but holy crap, like, this could not have started any better. And I take back all the crap I talked about. Not even crap, but I just, like, everything, like, be careful of what you wish for, and you know what, like, this is exactly why, because then something like this happens, and honestly, like, it was worse for, like, my personal expectations, but I mean, like, it worked out in the end, which is absolutely fine, and I regret everything I said, and you shut me up. Congratulations to you, both you and Gallant. Second of all, everyone has been talking about this, Joey, and I think the biggest thing, which is really the only thing we have to talk about this, is the fact that, the Rangers are still one of, if not the youngest teams in the National Hockey League, with guys like Fox and Kakko and Lafreniere, and even Zibanejad, who's entering his prime, and Panarin, and guys like obviously Igor Shesterkin, and obviously where would I be if I didn't mention the incredible play of Keandre Miller in his rookie season, Trouba, who had a bounce back year in 2020, 21, even though it was only 21, Zach Jones, who came up at the end of the year, Morgan Barron, who came up at the end of the year, Vitaly Kravtsov, who made wonders happen in his 3 or 4 weeks of play in the NHL, even a guy like Libor Hayek, who took a step forward this year at the very least, and guys like even Philip Hedl, despite being injured, you saw the progress in his game. And then obviously with guys being expected to come up, first of all, they just signed Nils Lundqvist to his NHL entry contract, and soon to come, I'm sure Braden Schneider in, like the second or third year of Gallant's contract as this Rangers head coach, assuming obviously that, nothing crazy will have happened and he'll have been fired by then. And either way, with all that being said, and still like even guys also like Ryan Strome and Colin Blackwell, who are also a bit on the younger side still. So my question to you is, and I have the stats to prove it, at least my argument. Do you think this was the right signing for the Rangers, not as a team, but for where they are, age-wise? Because talent-wise, we know they can compete.
I would say, if I'm being really honest, this is probably the best move they could have made. I said it one more time. The Knicks had all these choices. They could have picked Jason Kidd. They could have picked Kenny Atkinson, who was having success in Brooklyn. They could have picked Mike D'Antoni. They could have picked a lot of people, but they picked the guy that won the Coach of the Year award and made the best out of his players, young and old, in Tom Thibodeau. Look what he did in Chicago. Look what he did in Minnesota. And I'm going to say the exact same thing here. Okay? Gerard Gallant. Look what he did in Columbus. They were a bottom feeder, and he made them solid. Then he went to Florida. They became a playoff contender with Lou and everything. They had Yager and everything. He was great. And then eventually he got to Vegas, a team nobody thought was going to be better than like 500, like mediocre. And they were one of the best teams that year. They went to the playoffs and went to the Stanley Cup final. They went to the Stanley Cup. They went. They sadly lost, but they went. And to answer your question more specifically, do I think he's good for where this team is? This team has a lot of young players. That's obviously a big factor. But think about some of those young players. Not all of them, but some of them. Here's 3 right now, okay? Number 1, obviously, is Adam Fox. Adam Fox is in conversation to win the Norris this year. Would you consider a young player, I know there's Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes, but would you consider someone that young to feel that NHL ready? I would think someone who's in consideration for the Norris to be NHL ready.
Oh, I thought you meant like if I would have thought it coming in. No, but after seeing where he is, then sure.
Both. I'm saying both questions. I'm saying you wouldn't think he's ready, and you wouldn't think he's capable of such a thing. But the fact now that he is, how could you not be ready? How could you not think he's ready to take the next step? Is what I'm saying. Okay, and the second one is Kakko, right? Now, Kako is an interesting case. If you look at the score sheet, it doesn't seem that impressive. But I watched him play. He got a lot of chances. You know, he hit a lot of posts, unfortunately. He got some passes,
Much
he
better
got some
two-way
goals.
game this past year also.
Yeah, I'm saying there were significant improvements. This is one of the few things, I don't know if it was David Quinn, but I think it was that he did well, is that he helped Kako get a defensive game. I think it was him. It might have been someone else. I don't know.
I mean, Jacques Martin was a pretty damn good defensive coach, but still.
So it might have been him. That's true. He did do the power play penalty kill, so that's true. Yeah, I'm saying whoever was responsible for that, they did a very good job because now he's developing a two-way player. You know who else is developing a two-way player? Someone who already had those tools a little bit. Our number 1 overall pick last year of the whole, not just our pick of the draft, Alexis Lafreniere. Dude, it wasn't the best season, but if we're being honest, no training camp, no preseason, and 56 games. You know, he didn't have a chance.
Prospects tournament either.
He didn't have. I'm saying he didn't have a chance. You know, he didn't play in the World Championship. He didn't do anything. So, and he still scored over 10 goals, I think. So,
in a regular season, he's scoring at least 20 goals on pace wise.
I'm saying like
he's scoring 20 goals. He's putting up.
He was short almost 30 games. So yeah, he was scoring he scored 10 goals. So he was on pace for 20, and that would have been a great first season. And he had a ton of assists. I still love that crazy cross ice pass to Ryan Strome. And he had defensive chops too. He knocked a guy down once. He could get in your face. I remember he had a goal right in front of the goalie from Panarin to the side. It was phenomenal. He had so many good goals. His first goal against Buffalo, his last goal against Boston. He was a phenomenal player. You know, I would say if you just think about those three, Gallant is easily going to make them amazing players. And then there are the players that could be better, but they're not guarantees, right? You got obviously Keandre Miller. You've got Zach Jones, and you got Vitaly Kravtsov and Filipino. You could argue Lindgren, but I feel like Lindgren's already there. I could be, it's an argument.
Well, pardon me, like Lindgren's also part of that.
I'm saying, yeah, I know. But like, you don't think of him as the star power as those other three. You know what I mean? Like those three are the future. Like Lindgren obviously is a part of the team, but you just don't think about him. But he's ready, so I wouldn't consider him. I would say Miller, Zach Jones, Niels Lundqvist if he comes up, but yeah, Zach Jones, Miller, Kravtsov, and Hedl. So that's the real question: is Gallant going to be able to get to elevate their games? It's very possible. He could definitely. I could definitely see him elevating Hedl because Hedl's had flashes of brilliance. Kravtsov, he hasn't played enough, and neither has Jones. But with more time, there's a chance. Miller looked really good this year. I thought he was a very good rookie this year. So yeah, I mean, the last question is really, how about the people who you give no chance to? Julian Gauthier, Brett Howden. Can he fix them? I'd say no, and he doesn't have to. I would say one of them is going to Seattle and the other one, I don't know. But yeah, maybe he can make the most out of Gauthier because he's still young, but I don't know. And then he has more prospects coming in the later on in his contract. He's going to get Niels Lundqvist. He's going to get maybe Robertson. He's going to get Braden Schneider possibly. He's going to get Morgan Barron.
And who knows who the Rangers draft also these next.
I'm saying it's a good draft this year. They have a top 15 pick, so they're going to get someone good. Not like amazing, but someone good. Maybe they could trade that pick to get a good player that's already established in the league. Like, I don't know, like in a package. I think the real question, and all those other players that are already established, Colin Blackwell, I'm not worried about. I don't care. Rooney's a non-factor. Depends on him. Brendan Smith, a non-factor. It depends on him. Trouba I think he's fine. And you don't have to worry about Panarin or Zibanejad or Buchnevich or Strome. You don't have to worry about any of them. So I think the only thing left for this team to do to really make the playoffs, you have to sign players with grit. We're not going to go into that now. Maybe we'll do that next week. But just some players off the top of it. You get some grit grinders, like Barclay Goodrows or Blake Coleman, type players like that. Andrew Kops and Colton Seviors. Those guys that in the third and fourth that can be physical but could also score once in a while,
Yeah.
I mean, hell, look at what Corey Perry's doing. I mean, on the Habs. So I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know what to say. I don't have any other questions. I'm just too excited to think about this because this is awesome. We got a class act. He just won the the IHF World Championships. A team that was down at the start of the season 0-3 in Team Canada, who no one gave a shot to, and then just won the whole thing. So, hell yeah. I mean,
yeah,
you got a great coach.
I do have something. I have the numbers of the players to back this up. Numbers being the age for those who are saying, because Joey, you're thinking the way I am, that he's worked, he's done, younger teams, and he's turned teams around. Obviously where their age are, those younger, Columbus was younger at the time. Florida was younger at the time. Now, if you look at where those teams are, Columbus, has taken a bit of a downtrend this year, but they lost their best players in Panarin and Foligno and Bobrovsky.
Yeah, but that wasn't his team. That was Sports' team.
Right. But with those, that, like, when those players were coming up, not Panarin. Panarin was, a different story at the time. But with Bobrovsky, right, and Foligno and Savard and Seth Jones and all those guys, right, something different, right? And Cam Atkinson also. And now, you head over to Florida, start of the 2014 season, or 13-14 season, or 14, whichever, one of those two. And, you come in, and obviously, guys who have been more established recently, like Barkov, like Huberdeau, like Ekblad, wasn't on the team at the time, but you add a Yandel now to that, like, more established as a veteran, to kind of teach them along the way. He turned them around. They're a playoff team now. And then finally with the Vegas Golden Knights, I mean, without him, they're not nearly as successful in their inaugural season as they would have been without him. Now, to back up in terms of the stats, for those who are still saying, right, if you don't believe what he's done with those previously mentioned teams, here are the ages of the players he's worked with, okay? And look at where they were when they started versus where they are now, okay?
Do you have a graphic? Do you have a graphic?
I wrote it down over here.
Oh, because I was gonna give you control to show it, but whatever.
No, but just be checking out the players, okay? And specifically with Vegas and Florida, because we already spoke about Columbus, they were more prospects than they were.
So what are the average ages of those players?
So the average age is around 22 to 24, somewhere in that gap. Now this is, and that's for Florida in specifics. Vegas, obviously, some of those players stuck with him. Some of them had aged a little bit, but don't forget that it's not Vegas's players now 4 years down the road. It's Vegas's players when they were first drafted in the expansion draft by Vegas, or traded for by Vegas 4 or 5 years ago. Okay?
Right, so that's before Stastny or Pacioretty or Stone.
Right. So who are all, but except for Stastny, like Pacioretty's still fairly young. Either way, though, you're looking at with Florida prior to Vegas, because that's the team he first got the reins of and started to turn around from scratch, not have the prospects being able to learn from other guys. You had the first overall pick in Aaron Ekblad, who was like 18 or 19 when he entered. You had a 19-year-old Alexander Barkov, a 21-year-old Huberdeau, a 21-year-old Trocheck, a 25-year-old Marchessault. 25, I know, is not like crazy, but he had him back in Columbus also. Marchessault has stuck with Gallant a couple times. And then you had a 23-year-old Riley Smith, a 22-year-old Nick Bukestad, and a 24-year-old Brandon Peary, who also came back to Vegas with Gallant, by the way. Then in Vegas, you had a 24-year-old William Karlsson, a 23-year-old Shea Theodore, a 21-year-old Alex Tuck, a
21? Holy shit.
Something like that.
Wow.
You had a 21-year-old 24-year-old Nick Waugh, a 24-year-old Chandler Stevenson, and a 24-year-old Tomas Nosek.
Yo.
Fairly young, while some of those
None of those guys are 25. That's crazy. They were not 25.
At the time. That's crazy. Like now, I said 4 or 5 years ago.
No, I know, but still.
Stevenson's like 28, Waugh's like 28, Tuck is like 25, 26.
Theodore's right. And on the Rangers,
like 35 years ago. Peary right now is like 30, 5 years, 6 years ago back with the Panthers. Bukestad's only 28 right now. I feel like he's been in the league for at least 10 years. Okay. Riley Smith with Golden Knights, he's only 30 right now, and you throw back to when he was on the Panthers early, Marchessault early on the Panthers, Vincent Trocheck, Huberdeau, Barkov, and Ekblad. Those the big four for me right there. And obviously this is excluding the fact that these guys aren't young that I'm about to name, but he's also coached guys who have put down some of the best play in the NHL overall, like, as you mentioned, Luongo, Jaromir Jagr, UC Jokinen. Yep. That, like, a lot of great players he's worked with. He's seen the best of both sides, young and old.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and then I don't know if you wrote Rangers, but Kakko's like 20, Loff is 19, Filipito's like 21, Fox is 21. Lindgren might be
like 23 or 24.
Oh, then Lindgren's also probably like 23. Yeah, like Miller's probably 21. So is Jones probably. Kravtsov, I guess 22. I don't know. I don't know. Like, did you write any of those ages? But they're all under.
I wrote all those ages down.
So yeah. So what is it?
Others.
So no, I'm saying for the Rangers. Did you write the ages?
Oh, for the Rangers, no. But those okay. So I mean, Panarin 28.
Yeah, I'll just look up the website. And I'll share.
Other than that, Heedle's 21, going on 22. Same thing with Kravtsov. Fox and Lindgren, I believe, are 23, 24, going on, to that other one. But Kakko is like 3 months younger than me, so he's 20. Lafreniere is 19, going on 20. Keandre Miller, 21. He's like he's roughly like a year older than me. Like on the dot.
It says he was born in 2000, so he's 21.
Yeah, like just over a year older than me, so he's 21 right now. And
Zach Jones also 2000, so he's 21.
Or turning 21.
He's about to turn like in 2 months. But yeah. Wow. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. And then like for the other guys, I mean, like Kreider's like 30 right now. Zibanejad's like 28. Strome is like 27, 28 also, I think. Buchnevich is surprisingly like I think he's only like 26. He came up
1995. Whatever that is.
So that's like 26.
Okay.
I mean, Aaron, we mentioned also, Colin Blackwell, I think is also around like 27, 28.
Blackwell, 1993. So 28. Yeah. Yeah, this is a very young team. Very young team. Oh my god.
Perkins like 25 now. So
1996. 1996. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Anyway, I mean that pretty much does it.
I mean their oldest player on the roster is it looks like Brendan Smith. He was born in 1989. Yeah. So that's relatively
33 or 32.
Yeah, so he's got to be the oldest. Yeah, and he might be gone. So they're gonna have people as old as 30 only on this team, which would be insane if he's gone. That'd be insane. Wow.
And that's just about it. I mean,
that's it. I mean, I'm excited. We're gonna obviously draft people. You could always look at undrafted free agents. I mean, we signed Nils Lundqvist. That's a big deal. He's probably coming up next year. It's gonna be between him and Jones. You got free agency, and I want to get grit. That's really what I want. Maybe get 1 star, but I really don't need another star. I think we have so many talented players. I think we need someone who has grit and can score. I think we need a Boone Jenner, a Matt Calvert, a Brarke Gludro, Andrew Kopp, a Colton Seavey, or a Noshek, a McCabe. There's a million players. Blake Cole. Like there's so many. Right. So, like we could get one. Like there's no reason why we can't get one. We have so much cap space. I think because we're gonna have contracts coming off the books. So, it's just. Let's go for it, man. It's our year, man. It's our year. Fuck it. And that's it.
So that wraps it up for today's episode. And thanks all for tuning in again. Obviously, it's going to be very interesting to see what goes down in the playoffs. Tonight is game 2, I believe, between Montreal and Vegas. It's going to be in Vegas, rocking place. Forsland on the call. Not too far away from where he will be starting next year, along with possibly Dougie Hamilton. We know Ron Francis and maybe Rod Brindenborg. And that wraps it up. Thanks for tuning in. Final time signing off.
Sorry. Okay.
All good. And thank you all for viewing. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Signing off the final time today. Pardon me. You can laugh at me all you want, okay? But whatever.
Sorry.
I didn't go full retard mode in the middle of closing it out. I'm Josh.
And I'm Joey.